In the Metrex Trophy, as ever, there are 5 heats, 6 strongmen in each, 6 events in each, and 2 will go through to the final. Already there, a Swede, a Briton, a Latvian, a Finn, a Norwegian, a Pole. Which of these 6 will join them in the final?
I'm Hugo Girard from Canada, 30 years old, 1m83, 150 kilos.
Torbjörn Samuelsson, Sweden, 29 years old, 1m94cm, 135 kilos.
I am Tibor Mesaros from Hungary, 35 years, 1m90, 150 kilograms.
Carl Gillingham, Minnesota, United States, 37 years old, 6'3" tall, 135 kilograms.
Mariusz Pudzianowski from Poland, 25 years old, 1m86, 130 kilograms.
Mick Gosling from Wolverhampton in England, age 30, 6'5", 125 kilos.
If you've seen previous programmes, you know we start each heat here in Merdeka Square, which really is an architectural goldmine, contrasting the colonial with the modern, with the Moorish. And this is going to be a first test in World's Strongest Man for Mick Gosling. So impressive in the British competition in Wales, but this is a step up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like Manchester City playing Manchester United, isn't it? It's a good experience. From what I've seen, just heat's going to play a big part. So, you know, I don't know. I'm confident than I was this morning. So watching them, so I'll see what I can do.
Now it's your first time abroad as well, isn't it? So
Yeah.
how much is the whole experience getting to you?
Yeah, it's big. The flight was 12 hours. That was big enough. Coming over here and seeing all your heroes as well. You know, it turned around, there's about Bill Casmo, like 3 times bigger than me, behind me. But you know, it can be a daunting experience, but you know, it's a good experience as well.
Are you quite excited as well?
I am, yeah. I'm not nervous. Funny enough, I mean, the Brits, I was very nervous because there's a lot expected of me. But come on, here, I'm not, because there's nothing expected of me. So if we do well, you know, so be it.
Well, the first challenge is the carry and drag. Carry these 2 giant anvils that weigh 120 kilograms each to the halfway point on the course, and then drag this massive anchor, 285 kilograms, to the end. Commentary, as ever, from Paul Dickinson.
What a lineup it is for Mick Gosling in his very first World's Strongest Man competition. From Brinsford in Wolverhampton. He's no midget, 1m96, 127 kilos, and he did so well to be runner-up in Britain's Strongest Man. Tibor Mesaros of Hungary, a world record holder in powerlifting. Comparative novice at these sort of events, but tremendously strong. Torbjörn Samuelsson, of course, his brother, is a former World's Strongest Man himself. You can never count this Swede out. Next to him, a former finalist, Canada's champion, Hugo Girard. He weighs in at a massive 160 kilos. And the guy next to Hugo, Mariusz Pudzianowski of Poland, well, he missed last year totally. He had a few problems back in his home country of Poland, but he's here, and boy is he muscular, and doesn't he look strong. And finally, Carl Gillingham of the United States. His family is steeped in strength. Father, brother, they're all very, very strong men as well.
Take your grip.
Both of those anvils weigh 120 kilograms each. That's the size of a small motorbike, and away we go. Pudzianowski and Girard in the lead. Mick Gosling on the far side going well. But look at Pudzianowski. He's absolutely flying. He's meters ahead of the rest now. Mick Gosling still in about 4th place. Look at the muscles on the pole. Pudzianowski is accelerating away. Nobody's done it this fast before. Can he keep going right to the finish? Yes, he can. Oh, my goodness. That is 27 seconds. Unbelievable. Girard is miles behind, but still in 2nd place. Gillingham and Gosling there as well. Torbjörn Samuelsson miles behind at the moment. That was a phenomenal performance by Mariusz Pudzianowski. Girard flat on his back. Everybody else has gone to a grinding halt. And Pudzianowski finished what? about 40 seconds ago. Girard looks as though he's headed for decent points here. But what a performance by the pole. I keep repeating myself, but I've never seen anything like that. Gillingham is flat out. Girard has stopped moving. Everybody else, including Gosling on the far side, absolutely dead on their feet. Girard looks as though he will finish second, but in the end there was only one competitor in it. Girard, he can't believe what he's just witnessed there. Pudzianowski was like Superman.
But very good start.
Yes, good events.
Great.
I'm happy.
Does the heat get to you out there or not?
Of course it does. It's very humid. We sweat a lot. It didn't help for the grip on the chain. Didn't seem to affect Marius though.
How impressive was that performance by him?
We said the end of the qualifier. I got third, so it's not a disaster. I was hoping for as high as second. I came very close to getting Hugo at the end, but I couldn't quite get him. So I'm still not out of it.
I'm pleased with that. It's a good event. Certainly so to the man out from the boys. I feel it now though. I could do with half an hour rest.
Well, if Mick Gosling is a man, what does that make Pudzianowski? A superman, an amazing time, and 6 points for the pole. Next up, it's a true test of a strong man. This is powerlifting by any other name. Lift this giant log weighing 120 kilograms, that's 265 pounds, onto your shoulders, then above your head and lock out, put it down. And when you've done with this one, there's a whole lot more to contend with, and they are a whole lot bigger. Well, these days, the rules of the competition have changed. If you don't manage a single lift, you don't get a single point. So it was crucial for Gosling to at least get a success at the opening weight. And this he managed to do at 120 kilograms. But that was as far as he was going to go. At 150 kilograms, Torbjorn Samuelsson, the Swede, was successful, but that was the most that he could manage. The American Gillingham at 150 kilograms, and success for him too. He was pleased about that. As the weight got heavier, the big boys came into their own. Metzaros, a power lifter by trade at 155 kilograms, might not appeared initially to have locked out, but the judges gave it to him, much to his relief. Next up, Pudzianowski. If at first you don't succeed, have another go. Here was his first attempt at 155. Look at those veins, look at those biceps, look at those forearms, look at that face. And at 155, a success. But he couldn't match Hugo Girard of Canada. The world record for this event, 180 kilograms. At 155, it was child's play. At 160, it was almost absurdly easy. But Girard was more concerned about conserving energy for the battles to come. That was a sort of exhibition performance, really. You didn't have to stretch too hard there, did you?
You know, it's very hard for me not going to attempt the world record. You know, could be the only chance you got to do it right here at the Worlds. So, but you got to aim for the big one. So save energy, I think I'm going to need it.
That was fairly straightforward, though, to win that.
That's a good event for me. I knew what I could get, and you know, they pushed me hard, but not hard enough.
Confirmation then of victory for the Canadian ahead of the pole. Mick Gosling at least picking up 1 point for that one successful lift at 120 kilograms. But after only 2 events, it seems as though the top 2 are pulling clear of the rest already. From the colonial splendour of Merdeka Square to KL 2002 and the shopper's paradise that's known as the Golden Triangle. You can get anything here, even some Fingal's fingers. 5 huge rods of iron weighing between 200 and 300 kilograms, that's 440 and 660 pounds, to be lifted up and pushed over as quickly as possible. Now, if anything's been found during the course of this year's event, it's that the strength in depth of World's Strongest Man gets more and more apparent year on year. And Torbjorn Samuelsson, part of the great Samuelsson dynasty of strong men from Sweden, you must be aware of how it must get tougher every 12 months.
Every year is much tougher, and I think, like before, the strength is about the same as it has been over the years, but back the days I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 guys that were good on everything. Now we have like 8 of 10 guys that's good in everything, so you can't have a bad side.
So does that mean that from a training point of view, you have to focus on every possible discipline?
Yeah, you have to focus on too much now. Well, you have to train really hard on each event, otherwise you have no chance.
A chance for Mick Gosling now to make some recompense for a poor performance in the overhead lift, but I think he'll be more suited to this. And up against Torbjorn Samuelsson, much bigger in the arms, much bigger in the chest than Gosling, but they're both very, very good athletes indeed.
Get ready!
Now let's hear it for Mick Gosling. 6 feet 5 inches tall, knocking on the door of 20 stones in body weight, just behind Samuelsson. And Samuelsson has always lived in the shadow of Magnus, his more distinguished strongman brother. But Gosling is not going to give up without a fight, that's for sure. The aim, of course, to get the 5th 300-kilogram Fingal's finger flipped over to stop the clock at the fastest possible time. And Samuelsson's still in the lead, but Mick Gosling may be catching him a little bit. Samuelsson goes on to number 5. Now, come on, Mick. If you can get 4, you could be in with good points here. Yes, you can, and the time is good as well. Just around 40 seconds. Samuelsson going for number 5. This is a good performance. That is brilliant by the Swede. Now, what about Mick Gosling? He's looking tired. He's crumbling just a little bit. And that is a finish for Mick Gosling. It's still a good performance by the Wolverhampton man. Even better, of course, by Sweden Samuelsson.
Yeah, I'm pleased. It's really hard to know how fast you should go, but I'm pleased with that. Because, as I said, I did quite bad yesterday, so now it's motivation-wise, it feels good to have done something well for the events to come.
And it's a target for everybody else to chase.
Yeah, it's good to go out first if you do something quite well, because then the other guys have to really put up speed. When you do that, a lot of things can go wrong. So that can be good.
The challenge thrown down to the Hungarian, and he wasn't up to it. Just 3 fingers in 64.3. Carl Gillingham managed 3 as well, in a much quicker time, and then it was the big 2.
There's Pudzianowski, looking very rugged and very determined. And I think as this competition goes on, he's going to get more and more confident. Hugo Girard has been there and done it for many, many years now, so he knows exactly what's required here. Mick Gosling is still lying in second place overall, so the target for these guys to go ahead of Gosling, 4 of Fingal's fingers in 40.62. And both Girard and Pudzianowski are off to a flying start. This is brilliant by the Canadian. Now on to 250 kilos. Pudzianowski now on number 3. Girard is going so well. If he gets this over in the next couple of seconds, he's got ahead of Gosling. And the Canadian will certainly do that under 30 seconds. Girard is on number 5. Pudzianowski a long way behind, still on number 4. Only Samuelsson has done 5 so far. 48.81, and that is going to be beaten by Girard. We have a winner. And Pudzianowski behind him is still on number 4 and can't manage to shift it at the moment, my goodness. Oh. Well, the officials behind him chasing him all over the place. He still wants to flip number 4. Girard looking a bit cocky and confident, and so he might. He's won that one. Pudzianowski, well, there is a weakness in his armoury, and that means that Mick Gosling has done brilliantly.
Technically, I made a few mistakes, but they were feeling quite light. So I knew I just have to keep same pace and make sure I do 5.
And you're now at halfway stage, but you're in a very commanding position in the group now.
You know, like I said before, it's not over until the fat lady sings. So 3 more events to go. I really like the way I am now, where I'm standing. 3 more events, one at a time. Then try to save ourselves, make sure we get in the final, and then we open the engine there.
Voice of experience, another win for the Canadian, an excellent result for Gosling, and with Pudzianowski back in 4th place, it means that while Girard is out on his own at the top, Gillingham and Samuelsson have closed the gap on the pole. Imagine building a city the size of Nottingham, half an hour outside London, from scratch. That's what they've done here at Putrajaya outside Kuala Lumpur, which by 2010 will house 350,000 people. Enough of that. Next event, you know it well. 16-ton truck, 30-metre course. Pull it.
Another chance for Britain's Mick Gosling to impress. He won this event, but that was back in North Wales in May this year. This is in Kuala Lumpur, and it's around about 40 degrees. It's absolutely blisteringly hot.
You tell me.
He's got to stay low. Here we go. Mick Gosling going for big points once again. As always, the most difficult thing is getting this giant truck started. But once it's on a bit of a roll, if you can just keep it going for 30, 40, 50 seconds, where endurance plays a huge factor, you've got a real chance of big points. Gosling, first time in Britain's Strongest Man this year, and almost amazed himself and his family by making it into the World's Strongest Man competition. But so far, so good for Big Mick. He's got a very strong brother back at home as well, who by all accounts is even stronger than his brother. But Mick Gosling wants to stop that clock as fast as possible. It's looking pretty good at the moment, and it's just outside 50 seconds, 50.43. But that is another good effort by the Wolverhampton man. Gosling has done it again.
It's 30 metres instead of 25, so makes a difference. Can you tell me the time?
50.
That was good for me. Pleased with that. I mean, for a lot of the heavier guys was doing 45 seconds, so that puts you, I reckon, about 3rd place for that. Hopefully.
Well, he finished, which is more than Tibor could manage. 24 metres for the Hungarian. After him, Carl Gillingham of the USA, 51.03, just a bit slower than Mick. And then it was Torbjorn Samuelsson from Sweden, 52.43. Things looking good for the Englishman.
Only 2 men to go, and it's still Mick Gosling for Great Britain in the lead. But here goes Pudzianowski. His muscles fit to bursting point here. The definition is absolutely unbelievable, just like his teammate, Demek. And the 2 athletes, well, they were sent away to a health farm before they came here to KL. So very well conditioned and superbly prepared for this year's World's Strongest Man competition. And at the moment, despite the fact there are still 2 events to go, he's got a real chance of making it through to the final. And looking good here. Hugo Girard, the only competitor to go after Pudzianowski. Mick Gosling's time, 50.43. And I hate to say this, but Pudzianowski is going faster. This is good from the pole. He's hardly let up at all down this 30-metre course. Pudzianowski stops the clock, 46.84, and that is a big lead, with only Hugo Girard to go in this competition. Another great performance.
Very hot.
Yes, very hot. Condition is no good.
But you are leading. You are first.
Maybe.
Well, it's not maybe, it's absolutely definitely. But Girard, a 2nd place and 2 first places in pole position. This guy is absolutely massive. There was a report that Hugo Girard's chest earlier on this year had been pumped up to 70 inches. That is absolutely unbelievable. But Girard, head down, legs pumping, arms pulling on that rope. Is looking awesome. Have you ever seen a pair of shoulders broader than that? I very much doubt it. And Girard could be heading for victory number 3. Pudzianowski's time, 46.84. And I hate to say it once again, but I think Mick Gosling's going to be relegated to third place. Still good points for the Brit, but it's all between Girard and Pudzianowski now. Can he beat 46 seconds? Yes, he can, by a mile. It is victory number 3 for the Canadian. And this is looking an awesome display by Hugo Girard of Canada. 3 first places in a row. Superb performance.
Was that pretty straightforward for you?
You know what? Weather it's very hot today. A lot of waiting. I was a bit tired, but I did what I do best. Went out there, gave my best, and we wait for the result.
Well, you've won that. You're in the final. What do you do for the next 2? Take the foot off the pedal?
Yeah. Now, try to relax, spend as much energy as possible, and get ready mentally for the final.
Well, Girard's been there so many times before, he desperately wants to improve on previous performances. Another victory for him there, and he's into the final once more. Will it be Pudzianowski, or will it be Gosling who joins him? Mick has a lot of ground to make up with just 2 events to go. Event 5 finds us in the shadow of the Petronas Towers, the world's tallest buildings, and this is the Basque Circle. Well, just about every form of transport's been either pulled or lifted by our strongmen over the years, but perhaps appropriately in a city that many would say is plagued by scooters, we have for the first time mopeds. The guys have to carry these bikes that weigh 300 kilograms, that's 660 pounds, on their forearms around the circle as many times as possible. Get your motors running, this is going to be really hard. Indescribable heat, which took its toll on the Hungarian, just 53.5 metres for him. Samuelson, 76.9, that was better, but look at the effort. Carl Gillingham, 94.3, close to breaking point. And disappointing for Mick Gosling, 84.3. Crucial now to see how the pole could perform.
Here goes Mr. Muscles once again, Mariusz Pudzianowski. Absolutely incredible definition in his upper body. You can't see much of his legs at the moment. He's got those knee straps on. So 300 kilograms just resting on 2 giant and very muscular forearms. He's got to pick up at least a 3rd place in this event to make sure of a place in the final. We've still, of course, got the Atlas Stones to go, but that would seal it for the pole. And Hugo Girard is looking good for a place in the final as well. He's absolutely tearing round the course. That's 60 metres already. Pudzianowski is heading towards the mark set by Mick Gosling at 84, and he's gone past. So surely he's got that 3rd place he wanted. That is 90 metres. Now nobody has managed to go 4 times round. Can Pudzianowski, the crowd urging him on. This is another phenomenal performance. 4 times round, that is incredible. Just over 120 metres. He's hardly out of breath. And even more than that, he's not even sweating, and that in a temperature of 45 degrees.
Easy.
All right.
Well, follow that. We've just seen one of the most incredible performances in strongman competition.
Are you ready?
Now it's the overall leader, Hugo Girard of Canada. Up high on that massive chest. I just wonder if he's got a tactic up his sleeve here. He's got to try and conserve energy for that final, and for the final event in this heat, of course. So Girard following Pudzianowski, and he's going to stop on 30 metres. He still gets a point, and that is using tactics, a very wise head on a massive pair of shoulders.
This is the voice of maturity, isn't it now?
You know, it's very hard for me not to go all the way, but experience taught me that anything you can say is going to be useful in the final.
And when you see Marius do 4 and, you know, push himself to the limit, are you watching that thinking, silly boy?
Exactly. You know, it makes me happy. So it's not as hard for me to do only 1 lap then. You know, you want him to go out there, spend as much energy as he can. And on the long run, that's going to pay off.
120 metres, how much longer could the pole have gone on? 6 points for him, and that guaranteed his place in the final alongside Hugo Girard. Mick Gosling doing incredibly well in 4th place at the moment, but this had to be an immensely tough heat for him. And so we come to the Atlas Stones to round things off. An exhibition event in all but name now, but when it comes to the stones, it's a matter of pride.
Representing
Hugo Girard and Mariusz Pudzianowski in this last event. Another head-to-head which could be explosive, and I think it could be very, very fast as well. He's enjoyed himself here. Both men heading towards the final. And the final building up very nicely indeed. So here we go. Can either of them get 5 up? It's neck and neck at the moment. Girard just sprints into the lead. Those massive stones. This third one, 130 Ks, 286 pounds. Almost dunks it like a basketball. Oh, and the second one for Mariusz has crashed to the ground. He'll have to go back and put that one up. Girard now on number 5, 160 kilos. I wonder what the judges will say about this one. They are supposed to be put up on the wall in order. We'll have to bring you up to date with that afterwards, but look at Girard. He conserved energy in the last event, but he went flat out and got 5, and Pudzianowski's done it as well. Well, there's no doubt about who the 2 strongest men are in this heat. Hugo Girard and Mariusz Pudzianowski have put on a real show here. Tremendous performance by both men.
Well, Carl Gillingham actually won the Atlas Stones ahead of Hugo Girard. Pudzianowski only given 2 stones because he put them up in the wrong order, but it had no effect on the outcome. He and Girard were already safely through to the final, which means that when it comes to the lineup for the final of the Metrex Trophy, we now have 7 men from Europe and 1 from North America. Mariusz, many congratulations on getting to the final. You made it 2 years ago. I think you're in better shape this time and a serious contender. I'll tell you something though, get some fantastic bargains in Chinatown. I picked up a whole load of t-shirts for just 20p each. In fact, I got this one for you. One size fits all.
To nie mój kolor.